Before pandemic, all we know face-to-face communication in business is a must. It is the distinction of being able to see the other parties in a conversation. Before, gather remote and in-office employees together in the meeting room at the same time for regularly scheduled meetings and quick. Trust isn't built over text messages or emails. It's built through face-to-face connections. This is especially true in business. It allows the other person see how your actions align with your words. Business in pandemic is operated throughout technology, e-commerce, with many physical stores still not allowing full capacity because of the pandemic and some closed for good because of COVID-19. More people are shopping online than ever. E-commerce sales in the United States increased more than 40% year over year in August 2020, reaching $63 billion. According to data from Adobe, now even if people head back to these stores after the pandemic, the convenience of online shopping will remain and more people will take advantage of that.
Smaller countries tend to suffer from globalization, especially in music, due to no distribution. Companies can seek personal gain and have little to no care for the consumer. Globalization in music is a tool to share culture, thoughts, and stories throughout the world. In the past, only richer countries such as the United States and the UK would be able to distribute its music all across the world. Now, with the internet and other tech, people can share the music all across the world without have a rich country or record label. Globalization is great for music because globalization amazingly helps music by being able to disperse music all across the world. With today's technology in streaming and downloading, artists are not restricted by having the government of other countries looking at music to see if the artist's music needs to be censored or banned. Artists can find success in other countries without having success in their own country. There is a story of an artist's success in other countries. Rodriguez was an artist who has been making music since the 1970s and never found the commercial success they always had hoped for. Year later, a friend of his created a website for him, and in 1998, he had found out that in South Africa he was bigger than Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, and the Beatles. The relationship between music, typically pop, and globalization, also how there are various dominant artists in each country, but their popularity due to globalization is known in other countries. Thanks to streaming devices such as phones, computers, laptops, and so on, we can now listen to music from all over the world without having to buy a physical disc or have one imported to listen to artists that isn't from our country. These devices also have the ability for others to share their music. And with live streaming, artists can have concerts live on Facebook or any website, so their fans that can make it to the concert or can't afford it be able to view the artist perform live. The best part of that is fans of the artist from all around the world can now watch the concert for free than having to pay to go to another country and ticket.
The Spanish era brought about Spanish ethics, which influenced Christianized women to wear a skirt called saya and blouse called damaro, which was worn throughout the 400 years of colonization during the Spanish occupation of the Philippines. Over 300 years from 1861 to 1889, Barong Tagalog was run by the Spanish government for Filipinos. In those, we won most times to show the difference between rich and poor. In Saya, the ruler symbolizes purity. The Barong Tagalog is worn by men, while the Night Saya is worn by women during important occasions. Now, passion and clothing in the Philippines refers to the way people of Filipino society dress up. In styles such as a wild way of work, traveling, and attending special occasions. The clothing style and fashion sense of the Filipinos in modern-day era have been influenced by their native ancestors, the Spanish colonizers, and the Americans, as evidenced by the chronology of events that occurred in Philippine history. At present, Filipinos conform their way of dressing in addition to bad factors. As a result of the influence of what's shown in the media and television fashion shows, among others, apart from colonial influences and media influence. The Filipino style of clothing had been dictated by the climate in the Philippines, with a tropical climate, dry and rainy seasons. Early Filipinos as well as the still tribal groups in the Philippines wore colorful woven clothes, often with intricate beadwork and other ornament, a type of colorless shirt which later become adorned with laces, trimmings, buttons, and collar was rare from the Tagalog and white. On the other hand, the bahag was a type of cloth or whiskey. Back in the day, Filipinos due to highly designs and popular t-shirts, combining jeans, trousers for men and skirts for women. The army jeans and t-shirts combination to a Filipino by the Americans.
Just a decade, society had extremely negative stigmas about video games. Gamers were considered nerds at the best and lazy at worst. However, the perceptions surrounding gaming have changed, and we have can even recognize benefits that come from with the activity. This shift in perception has led more people to become part of the community and culture than ever before. This change is largely connected to the phenomenon of increasing globalization, the expansion of industries and organization into international markets. Every ultra successful company or industry that you're aware of has gone global, and that simple because they had recognized the importance of it for their sustainability. If companies support and welcome globalization, it becomes interwoven in their culture. Employees become globally minded, engineers build software with another countries in mind, and the rest of the team follows. Going global is the key to ensuring your company grow and future are indomitable. Back in the days, many of our favorite video games were created with a specific market in mind, typically one of local that of the games developers. Back in the day, many of our favorite video games were created with a specific market in mind, typically one local to that of the game's developers. If the product was hit, the publisher obtained scramble to replicate that success around the world, creating new versions of different regions as quickly as possible. As the time went on, producers planned for a localized version of the games, but often left just as for the end of the production cycle, cause releasing delays to the foreign markets. Today, we're seeing more day and date global release of many popular titles so that the concept of the globalization in the same game industry may be seem quaint.